Welcome to Masters of Max, a mobile app experience podcast. Please welcome your host, Tom Buda, Chief Strategy and Marketing Officer at Airship.
Welcome to another episode of Masters of Max. Today, we're joined by Reed Daniels, who is the president and CEO of Red's Savoy Pizza. I'm not sure a lot of people know about Red Savoy Pizza, so welcome, Reed. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about the company.
Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it. So Red's, not a lot of people know about it, but the people that do are pretty obsessed with it. I think before we even had a marketing department, I think it was like 1997 or something like that. Like Maxim magazine had like the 12th most life-changing pizza in America or something. And on those are some juggernauts, right? So the people in Chicago, the Lou Malnati's, the Geno's and all that stuff are on there. And one-off little shop that started on the east side of St. Paul in 1965 was on that list too. And we're here today with 19 units and growing.
I've got to try one of these pizzas. I didn't get to ask you about what Sota-style is.
It's thin crust, spicy passive-aggressive sauce, loaded with toppings and cut into squares.
Brilliant. Okay, I love that. So you're sort of combining North and South Italy, with a little bit of a twist on it. South being down in Sicily, it's all you get a square, you don't get a triangle, right?
Yeah, it's loaded though, like edge to edge, layered like a lasagna, just lots of toppings and very abundant. And so we have our sauce, and our sausage is proprietary. Our dough and our cheese and everything too, but that sauce is the best. That's where brand wins, right? And so the quality of food, we had a lot of people that knew about us. We're a very low discount company, and we use our technology and our loyalty program to do a majority of that.
How and when did that maybe link to your app?
If we peel back the onion on a loyalty program, there's a couple key elements to the guest engagement platform for businesses. Loyalty is one of those. The digital experience when people are buying, right? Like, so e-commerce and all that kind of stuff. But then, what do I get for choosing you? Every year we kind of had a new initiative. So one year was online ordering. The next year was gift cards. The next year was loyalty. So we started that in about 2014, 15-ish. And, at the time I knew, like, as any business, whether it is, I use the Bob's Pizza, or the local hardware store, or an enterprise company, it's about building a list and being able to communicate with potential customers and existing customers. I just knew that that was the way to build the list. Like there's restaurants that have e-clubs, and I think that you're kind of in a lot of e-clubs, you're just telling people stuff versus like trying to build relationships and know them on a one-to-one level. And that has drastically changed from 2014 and 15 to now in terms of like one-to-one personalization, and like your habits are different than my habits and all of that kind of stuff. And so that was a big piece of what I thought was going to be the way that we designed the program called Thank You Rewards. It was a way for people we could say thank you for choosing us. Some of that was in compensation, right? Like you get points or dollars back to use, but like, hey, here's a free cheese bread, here's wings, or, try us out, or here's a new menu item and all that stuff. So it's like now built into like the DNA of a guest to like expect rewards and loyalty and all that kind of stuff. And the goal at the end of it is loyalty. Right? It's something I kind of coined a couple of years ago, is called the 6-2 list, is this concept of we just want to be on the list. And what list is that in restaurants? So that at the end of the day, you call your significant other and you're like, what do you want to do? I don't want to cook tonight. And you're like, you're going to go to one of 6 places, and 2 of them are probably pizza, and we just want to be on that list. And through loyalty and brand marketing and email campaigns and the experience they had at your restaurants, our goal is to just stay on that list. And that goes in all verticals.
So let's talk about the value exchange. As you point out, it's more than just, creating rewards for loyalty.
So like, for example, just a belief system that I have is a text message is pretty invasive, right? A text message is for my friends, my family, all of that kind of stuff. If I get a random text message from a brand that is about a sales thing, it actually bothers me, right? Some people that doesn't bother, but some people it does. And so we've built our tenants to say, we will give someone a transactional text to say, here, track your delivery driver. But we're not going to text you to say it's free wing Friday, right? It's like dropping it into someone's DMs is pretty invasive. And like, we kind of all accept that on email, that people you get on a list or someone sells your list and you kind of, it annoys you, but it is more accepted because it's not popping up in your face. What we've started to use through our app is push notifications. We wanted it to be a light touch. You have your list of notifications on your iPhone from missed calls to your prescriptions ready or whatever. People that, buy different amounts of times and whatever, different averages, different oftens, all that kind of stuff. And those constantly change. And then we can constantly change our messaging to them. We keep adding tools within the app. It's not just a rewards program app. Like, hey, I can see how many points I have. And that's what it started as, in 2016 when we first got our app or whatever year it was. And it was very static. But, for I look at an app on someone's device as real estate, you take up that much of a screen. Is you have to have some value is the question that you're talking about. So like, what does it do? Can I check in at your restaurant? Can I see what your specials are? Can I order on there? Can I give feedback? What does the guest want? And, a lot of what we've dealt with labor is like, how do we get the guest to be self-sufficient? Like we saw the digital ordering change. So it's like, there's a sense of like isolation through COVID. Everybody's working from home and doing the thing, whatever. But like, are they going to call in? Are they going to do that? Is it going to be awkward for people to call in? Everybody's called in on a Friday night to a pizza place and they're like, can you hold please? You're like, dang it. And then they're like, oh, and they lose, it's loud in the background and everything like that. So how do we like get people to order in their underwear and be happy about it? Please put pants on before our delivery drivers get there. Right. However, like, how can you like do it your way, right? And do it on your time. And so like, that's what we're trying to constantly like peel back the onion and figure out. And it's kind of like our little labyrinth that we're, technology changes and customer behavior changes and customer wants change.
Some people might prefer SMS versus, text versus push versus email. How can you establish some preferences and desires up front without asking too much?
Whether it is a funnel, an inbound marketing on a website or whatever, it's like you need to get the basic level of information and then you build that profile as you go. You're not going to say like, hey, I got you on the phone and give me all of this information. What the Minnesota Vikings did well when they launched their new app that I appreciated was, you got to log in, email and whatever. But then they gave you additional points to fill out more of your profile. Add a picture, get this, add whatever. And some of them were like points towards something. Some of them were sweepstakes entrance to win autograph stuff. If you want to finish your profile, you're 90% of the way there, we're going to give you assigned X or whatever that is. And then like, it's a postcard that they'll send you in the mail. Costs them little to nothing, but you get to determine whether or not that has value to you, what they're willing to give you in order to fill out what they want.
Sounds like you're paying attention to others that are doing things really well. Are there other companies that are kind of crushing the mobile app game?
There's a newer feature, and you're probably going to know the exact term of it, but it's like Uber tells you like your driver's like 2 minutes away, and he's got a black Jeep. That live relevant information is really spectacular.
It's called Live Activities. And that's Apple kind of invented that.
You tell me exactly, I know what to expect without having to go back into the app and pull up the tracker again. And then at the end, you give me a feedback and I'm done.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time. And I wish you much success and continued success going forward.